all of
Watch
these
how
are
this
in the
search
model,
engineer
and so if
uses a
any of
search
these
engine
pop up,
model
you
to
need to
detect which
pay special
algorithm is
attention to
hurting their
these and go
site,
through and maybe
and then how the
understand,
model shows an
what is
example
it
of what to
about
fix.
embeddings, or what is it about the way that our entities or topic cluster is designed, so that we can back into a more scalable thought, right? Like spotlight focus, first of all, you can see some other keywords that have been injected in here, and this is representing our model of Google's Hummingbird algorithm. Hummingbird essentially inputs and injects other things into your query before it actually searches the search result. And so this is an example of what we're doing. And you can see that the spotlight focus score for one of the sites that did really well is 1400, and the one that we have is 36. So clearly, this is why we have so many points here assigned to this task, is because we're so far off, and this spotlight focus seems to have a high correlation with the overall results. So this is basically a must do here. And we can see that it kind of shows you here are some recommendations of what we should do, and we should be writing a little bit more about these topics on the page. But we can also kind of go in and start to see like the output of these algorithms. So let's go and pull this up real quick. So we're going to pull up one of the sites that it likes, Catholic.com. And you can see this basket of phrases or entities, right? So there's 241 entities that it found on the page, and there's a weighting of what it thinks this page is about. So sacred scripture, this looks like it's pretty much nailed it here. And we can do the same thing for us, right? So we can go and look at how our output looks like. Looks like our output is focused around reading, right? So reading, Bible, God, Jesus. So this is the structure of this page from an entity structure. And if we want to know why that is, right? Well, why did we end up with one that didn't say scripture? It said reading instead. Well, we can kind of back into that by looking at the inputs. So like here are the 3 inputs to this. So we can look at the entities that it extracted. It looks like Bible, different versions of Bible on the entities were extracted here, Old Testament vernacular. So they didn't even have a focus on scripture per se, the way that they're writing. So it's not necessarily the content, the way that they're writing it. So you look at the anchor text. So this is the way that we link to the page. And lo and behold, here you go. Most of the links are linked with the anchor text scripture. And when I say most of the links, I mean most of the powerful links, because we associate a specific amount of link flow. So it may only have one link, but it's the most important link, that kind of thing. So it's a summation of all the links. If you click on any one of these stemmed words here, you'll get a list of all of the links that had that word in it. So you'll basically see the root word of it and any other kind of conjugations that come off of it. But here are all the links, and each link is scored. So you can go to like the scorecards and see why these links are more important than others, or less important, whatever. But that is the difference right here. It looks like that because their focus, their anchor text distribution is on sacred scripture, then it basically pops this to the top of the basket. And if we look at ours, let's see what happens here. Reading, God, the Bible, pretty much the same order here. Related entities, again, it doesn't really change. And then we look at the anchor text, and there we go. So 20% across the board for reading, public, scripture, theme, biblical. So it's not focused so much on scripture. It's spread out between these other things. So if we could take like any one of these right here and just change this and to get rid of some of these other keywords and just have scripture in it, that would have a dramatic effect on this overall basket of phrases. We need to look at the entities on the spotlighted text. So we can come here and see how it's pulling the text and the entities that it extracts. So everything here is linked, is an entity. If you click on, like any one of these links, it'll go to that entity's knowledge graph, and you can see like the parent and the child topics and everything. But basically, this is the topic cluster of the page, and you can see sort of how it's pulling the entities out of here. And so you might need to put scripture or the scripture or something, that, well, if we look at theirs, we'll just copy what they do, right?